Let's go. Coming back at you with yet another episode of Two Plant-Based Brothers. I am William the teacher. This is my brother.
And I'm just Daniel Nowotnik.
That's right. No more special names. He just goes by his legal name. But um, as you guys have probably felt, the summertime is upon us. And, you know, Daniel's kind of showing what we're going to talk about this
A little
time,
bit.
but it's going to be a little bit of it. We're going to be talking about the great outdoors, about
Mhm.
cooking outside, about the
Yep.
barbecue,
Yeah.
and how we've adjusted to it. So, coming up this weekend, Daniel, is that right? This weekend coming up?
This weekend, as in tomorrow from the
Oh,
recording, yep, the day after this, right, when this recording comes out, we will be celebrating 250 years as a country.
wow. 250 years go United States of America.
Woo!
And when is the soccer team playing?
They will have already played by this
Oh,
point. Yeah.
so maybe, yeah, I guess we could have waited, guys, but looks like we're gonna do this before we know the outcome of the football match. The United States versus Bosnia
And Herzegovina.
and Herzegovina. Yes, two countries we have to play. Doesn't seem quite fair. But
What
that's,
if Bosnia and Herzegovina ever played Trinidad and Tobago?
oh, wow, that
It's
would be
too hot
awesome.
too.
Yeah, yeah, very good. But right now, at the time of recording, we do not know. So, if you're here for World Cup updates, just go to like ESPN.com or something. You
The
probably have a
day
better
of.
chance. Yeah, of seeing. But the updates are the United States is moving on to the knockout rounds.
Yep.
One team I saw already knocked out today was Team Japan.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear
Wow.
that. Really close game. I
Yeah.
believe Brazil put one in the net in the 95th minute or something like
That's
that,
exactly right.
which is a heartbreaker. I mean,
Yeah.
even against Turkey, a game that didn't count, to give up a goal in the 98th, 99th minute just
Brutal.
hurts.
Yeah, it was
Even if
brutal.
it's your backups, you
Yeah.
know?
Backup goalie, a lot of our backup defense. We put in some of our starters at the end of the match, but
Yeah.
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 But it's still kind of a gut punch because it should have been a draw.
Yeah, I mean, it should have been, and that's what I was kind of hoping for in that match. But let's get to it, Daniel. 250 years of America. You've been
Yes.
around for a couple of them. I
Yeah.
was actually, you
I
weren't, but
was there on the
I
Declaration
was
of
here for
Independence.
the, not quite the signing, but for the bicentennial. I was a little baby. And
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about the bicentennial. And thinking about when I was a kid, about I would be such an old man at 250,
Really?
right?
That's what you thought?
Of course. And now I'm just like a spring
Did,
chicken. I don't
what
feel
did you
old at
think
all.
about 225? Was that a thing?
No, no one thought about that, you
Okay.
know?
Because that
So
would have been
what is the special
2001.
name for
Oh,
250 years?
I don't know. Bicentennial and a half. I got nothing.
I don't know. I think it was like I
But it has to be a
remember,
quarter. It has to be a quarter of something because it's a quarter of a
yeah,
century. What did you say? Like the whole Hunger Games?
a
Oh,
quarter quell.
yeah, it's a quarter
It's a
quill.
quarter quell. Okay. That's I hope not. I hope we're not giving up sending up tributes, but I think that was the president's idea, was to do two tributes from every state to
Yeah.
battle in games, and I said that sounds a little too familiar. Maybe
Yes.
not.
Yes.
So see if you can get Vanilla Ice to perform and then have a really cool concert.
Yeah.
That would be great. Or yeah, who knows? Anyway, USA still going strong. And let's go back to 4th of July, Daniel. So what do you kind of recall from 4th of July's growing up?
I remember going to the Ukaipa Regional Park,
Mhm.
and we would get in line so early, if I remember.
Mhm.
I think I have just memories of bringing my pillow with me. We were in line so early to get into Ukaipa Regional Park, set up camp there. I don't know what we did all day. I just remember at the end of the day, fireworks. I would have to imagine it was some sort of barbecue of sorts, or sandwiches or something like that. But yeah, surrounded by being outside, so ending with fireworks, but somewhere in between a lot of eating, whether that be junk food, right? Chips,
Mhm.
dips of sorts, and then of course meat barbecue, hamburgers, hot dogs was probably the normal fare when we were growing up, I would imagine. And then as we kind of got older, as I got older and I got married, And it went into ribs, barbecue ribs,
Mm.
mac and cheese, like really big mac and cheese, and a lot of other meat products. How about you? What was it? What was it like in the bicentennial?
So I don't remember, but I do have some memories of being in Los Angeles, outside of grandma's apartment, probably even before you or when you were a baby, and people would set off, and we would set off like these little things and little things that go on fire and spin
Yeah,
around, or
the
these silly things that
sparklers.
would just burn up,
Yeah.
and sparklers, and that kind of stuff. But I think in the late 70s and into the 80s, fireworks were a big deal. It was a
Mhm.
special thing for Fourth of July.
Yeah.
I remember distinctly driving back from Bass Lake one summer. And You could have been there, you maybe not have been, but
Mhm.
watching the fireworks go off
Yeah.
in the background somewhere, wherever we were,
Yeah.
and it being, oh, we got to see fireworks. It was a big deal. But now it's just like fireworks are like every night, or in the summertime, if you live close enough to SeaWorld, I mean,
Yeah. They do it every night,
it's
right?
like it's not such a big deal. Or every Friday night at Petco Park, or like
Mhm.
at some stadiums when someone hits a home run, you get fireworks. So it's just like I think it's kind of lost its touch a little bit for me personally.
Mhm.
Fireworks aren't that big of a deal, but I remember when I was a kid, that was the big deal,
Yeah.
right? And then someone was cooking meat on fire outside,
Yes.
right? It really kind of caveman kind of say, "I man, I cook meat on fire,"
Yes. Fireworks,
and
fire cooking.
yeah, and I think just dogs and burgers was pretty much the
Yeah,
normal fare, right?
I think so too.
And then as after I moved to San Diego, it was I think I did the beach once. But I worked at the beach a couple Fourth of July's, and
Mhm.
it just sucked.
It's a
I'm not gonna lie.
madhouse. Yeah, no, same. I'm sure
Yeah,
I worked the 4th of July summer once in PB,
yeah.
Pacific Beach for non locals.
Oh yeah, I forget we got to say that. Yeah.
And because we have a wide audience,
Oh yeah,
and
Germans.
and then we worked when we used to have our s'more company. We worked an event in the was it like Point Loma area, and
Mm,
it took us hours to get
yeah,
out of that area because there's really one or two roads in and out of that place, and it was
yeah.
just bumper to bumper. It was crazy. So I was like, never again. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, no, I did that. I think once when Madeline was little, Sabrina and I we went down to like Shelter Island,
Hmm.
and just there's no point in leaving, and it's just
Yeah, just stay there, post up. Yeah,
you're never gonna get out.
right.
You get on Rosecrans, forget about it. And so, I mean, that's the thing. It's like the beach is a big deal and a big draw. But it was so funny as I moved closer to the beach, I never wanted to do that again,
Hmm.
right?
Funny.
So spending time, I mean, but it seems like it's one of those things where I always cook something, meat
Hmm.
on something, or a lot of times Sabrina would have to work. The kids and I had this little tradition where we would go to Wiener Schnitzel
Oh,
and buy
cool.
hot dogs instead of
Nice.
just cooking the dogs. Yeah, and we just wait for her to get off work and watch fireworks. You know.
That's a cute little tradition.
Yeah, and then so we would go, but we could like literally outside when we were living in the University Heights area, we could look out the window and see fireworks. It
Yeah,
just
that
wasn't that big of a
our
deal.
place here where we live here in Chula Vista because they do the fireworks over the lake here, which is like just a couple miles away from us. We have the vantage point where we can walk probably 30 yards, and it's in our complex and look out over the lake and see the fireworks from our house. So I'm
Well,
like, and every time I'm like, no, we're gonna wait whatever 5 to 9 or whatever it is, and then we'll go out and check them out. All right, that's cool, and then walk right back to our house.
yeah,
Why
that's
why would I
great.
do anything different?
Yeah. But do you grill out there at the park
No,
there? Because they at the park next to your house, they have these little barbecues that people can
they
use.
do, and we have a barbecue in our complex. We have a community pool, which has a
Mhm.
couple barbecues. But yeah, no, I think barbecue for me, and I'm happy to cook. We went to a friend's campground this past weekend, and he cooked up some burgers and hot dogs, and I put my little vegan hot dog on there that he cooked up for me. But like, I'm happy to put it on there, like my vegan stuff, but. Yeah, barbecuing ever since I kind of gone plant-based hasn't really been a desirable thing. Sometimes I'll crave like a pulled pork sandwich type thing, right? And jackfruit. is a great substitute for pulled pork from a texture perspective, and you can really get the flavor there if you do it properly. Is just as good, right? And then I remember any pulled pork sandwich I've ever eaten. So yeah, I don't really think about barbecue because I don't eat ribs anymore, and that's the only thing I think of barbecue ribs or barbecue tri-tip or something like that. But
Well, let's break this down and what is considered barbecue. I think for
yeah,
most, let's just be honest. For someone who's traveled a little bit, understands the culinary arts, work in the restaurant business, we know that there's a difference between Carolina barbecue and Memphis
oh yeah,
barbecue and Kansas City barbecue and Texas
yeah.
barbecue. There's difference, but to me, when I say barbecue, especially the verb to
Mhm.
barbecue,
Using the
what am I
barbecue.
talking?
Just using the actual Barbie, right? That's what I'm thinking.
I'm talking about cooking meat on fire
Yeah, yeah,
normally, outside,
yeah.
outdoors,
Outside.
right? Whether it be a gas grill, charcoal,
Yeah.
whatever you got. I mean,
Flat
one
top.
time I found out I ran, this was I don't know how many years ago, but I ran out of propane for my grill out in the
Mm.
backyard. And so what I did was I ran a George Foreman grill out and I put it on top of the grill
You're grilling.
and and grilled up the dogs and burgers for the kids on 4th of July. And I had to do that outside. I had to take my George Foreman grill, run it with an extension cord out to the backyard so I could
Be
quote
outside.
unquote barbecue,
Yeah.
right? You
And that's
can't
a
do that
regional thing too.
inside.
I just thought about too, as you were saying that. Some people in the US and parts of the US say grilling, which
Mm-hmm.
is synonymous with barbecuing.
Yeah. And so that's kind of what we're talking about is the summertime people like to cook outside. And I don't want to confuse what it means for us to barbecue versus what is
I see
barbecue,
what you're saying. Yeah, because we're
right?
not what do you call? We're not smoking any meat out here.
Yeah, no, and we're not talking about smokers. We're just talking about cooking outside, and which is something very popular in the United States. It starts, I think, in some places it can be done year round. San Diego,
Hmm.
for example,
Yeah,
you have
absolutely.
beautiful weather all year round. For others, it's really that Memorial Day, starting that,
Right.
and then getting into 4th of July, and then just any Sunday on in August, and then into Labor Day,
Right.
and then next thing you know, you're tailgating at the football game, and
Oh yeah.
grilling things up,
Yep.
some bratwurst or different things like that. But, for me, it's just like I wasn't much of a grill master. Like I talked
Same.
about the wings I used to make for my daughter's birthday on the grill, burgers, dogs, these kinds of things, just the normal stuff.
Keep it simple, right?
But I was at a barbecue one time, even before I was plant-based, where my buddy was grilling up some portobello mushrooms,
Hmm.
and those were just bomb. You know,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
taking a portobello, a little bit of oil, salt, and pepper, get that on the grill, warm it
Mhm.
up, heat it up, put it between two buns. You got yourself a good sandwich.
Yeah, and you can do all sorts of veggies grilled, right? And it gives a
Mhm.
totally different texture, caramelization on some, right? Like carrots, I love grilled carrots or barbecue carrots, that sort of thing. And and it gets comes a sweetness to it. So yeah, you can grill a lot of veggies, actually pretty much any veggie, right? And it's going to taste great, especially if you season it well, and you
Mhm.
could get quite full off of it. I was thinking, because I've also been kept it pretty simple, right? Hot dogs, whatever, hamburgers, and maybe the occasional steak, but very, very minimal, right? In that. When I think of like 4th of July and barbecuing, I think about like the sides. And I think traditionally sides are not vegan friendly when I think of barbecue sides, right? So I already mentioned mac and cheese. And in our family, mac and cheese is actually not just a side, it was kind of like a staple main dish in so many
Mhm.
ways. I think of coleslaw. I think of potato salad, egg salad, right? I think of what was there? There was one more off the top, like beans,
Barbecue
like
beans.
beans would have like some sort of ham or some pork
Yeah,
in it,
definitely
right?
some kind of pork in there
Yeah, so
for
I'm like,
barbecue beans. Yeah.
so most everything, if you're going to a barbecue, as somebody who's plant-based, my suggestion is bring something
Yeah.
because it's probably going to be slim pickings with the plant-based affair. Because even salads perhaps will have cheese or some sort of dressing that has dairy on it. But that's me. I have no shame in doing that. I also don't go to these barbecues anymore. We kind of just do our own thing, just my wife and I, because the kids are with my in-laws. So we'll just kind of hang out, make whatever we want to make, or even this year maybe we'll just order in. Who knows?
Well, that's pretty crazy. I have already purchased my field roast sausages
Okay.
that I'm going to cook with onions and peppers. This has been my tradition for the last
Mhm.
about 5 years. Maybe this is my
Yeah.
sixth one. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26,
That's
1.
it.
Easy to count. Started in 2021. So get my field roast. I got Italian sausages this time, and definitely going to do, onions and peppers, maybe mushrooms,
Mhm.
but in a pan. I'm not going to go outside. I'm not going to cook it outside.
Yeah.
And then that's it with a little Dijon mustard. Good to
Dijon.
go. But I want to
Nice.
get back to the sides issue,
Yeah.
because yeah, if you're 100% plant based, if you're
Yep.
vegan or plant based, there's almost nothing except for maybe some corn.
Yeah, you can
Um,
corn if they don't butter it, but a lot of
that's the
people
thing.
like
Yeah,
our mom, I think, would butter the corn, pre-butter the
yeah,
corn. So you just got to order pre without the butter before. But my friend who just cooked for us, right? We're at campground. He did a bunch of corn. Didn't put anything on it, nothing on it, just grilled on the grill,
yeah.
and tasted so great. You don't need butter because it's already sweet, right? Sweet summer corn in season, delicious without, right? But yeah,
I
you got to come
I just had
prepared.
I had just a hilarious flashback to your son eating corn last year, or he was really just eating
All over
butter.
his face. Oh, it's just eating the butter. Yeah. He's just greasy, just like
No, I mean
man.
he ran through that corn and he had the butter all over his face, but there was still butter. It didn't even have time to melt because he just went right through it, and he's
Um,
just eating the butter with.
all right, Mom. If you're watching, which we know you are, you watch to the
It.
end. Easy
Yeah.
on the butter for Lennon this year.
Oh man, let the kid go crazy. It's summertime.
It
Let
is
him
summer. Yeah, that's right.
eat some
Forget what
stuff.
I said.
And I
Have a whole
think
stick.
you can make a potato salad. You can make a
And that's the
coleslaw. A
thing.
lot of coleslaws don't even have to be aren't mayonnaise
Yeah,
based. A lot of vinegar based.
all of those things can easily be made vegan. That's the thing. They really can. I think just traditionally, as you were saying too, like the beans, right?
Yeah.
Traditionally, they're not. So most people, unless they are a plant-based family or they know you're coming over and they are amazing hosts and they want to do something like that, I think that's awesome that they do.
Mhm.
But for the most part, if you're just going with your friend or whomever, a significant other, and you're just hanging out at a barbecue, probably not going to be much. But you
Yeah.
know that going in. That's all right.
Yeah, and but there's a lot of things you can do, and this could be your year. This could be
Mhm.
your Fourth of July where
Yeah.
you try a vegan barbecue.
Yeah. And the Italian ones that you were talking about, the
Yeah,
Italian plant-based sausages or whatever,
yeah,
brats, they're delicious. Like they
yeah.
taste really good.
Yeah, and
I like
once
them.
again, we don't prescribe eating this on a regular
Yeah.
basis, these fake things. But the truth is, for these special occasions and different, it works in a pinch, whether it's a Beyond Burger or a field roast sausage or something else like that. You can do it. You can buy if you really want to have more of that potato salad. You can buy a plant-based mayonnaise. They
Yeah.
exist. You can find vegan cheese if you need it. There's a lot that
Mhm.
you can do.
Yeah.
You can make its beans are so simple. Just don't put the bacon in there,
Right.
and yeah, be you'll be okay.
So then, question for you, because I think the other thing we haven't talked about that kind of surrounds Fourth of July is alcohol, right? And
Oh,
drinking. What's your go-to drink? I know you're probably going to tell me water. Is there anything else you like to drink on Fourth of July that's non-alcoholic, that's not water?
no, I did this for the first couple of years.
Uh-huh.
I had like Heineken Zero.
Uh-huh.
There's definitely one that you know, camping where I did that probably the first or second year camping.
Hmm.
And there were some good, non-alcoholic beers that you put me onto. I don't know, they're groovy or something like that.
Hmm.
But it just didn't take. I haven't had one of those in I couldn't tell you maybe
Right.
4 years. Who knows?
But any
So
drink. I mean, like it could be lemonade, it could be a can of Coke even. I don't know.
I mean, a
Nothing.
Coke Zero,
Coke Zero?
maybe,
Like
but I
crack
don't
one of
think
those.
so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I did that for Super Bowl. I had
Mm.
a, I bought two Coke Zeros, but I only drank
Mhm.
one, and
Mhm.
then the other one sat in the fridge. You guys know the story. I was saving it for after Lent, and then after Lent to go in the fridge to get that Coke Zero, and
Oh,
it's gone.
yeah, you know the story. Reminds me
You
of
know,
Larry H. Parker. I was thinking about doing lemonade. I like a nice lemonade
yeah,
in summertime outside. I like it tart. But I will also enjoy a non-alcoholic beer, kind of for you, separate, different from you. And one tastes great, nice and cold. That's it.
yeah. No, I mean, think about it. It really does. I'm glad you mentioned that because the whether you say fortunately or unfortunately, I mean, depends on how your life is and how you are. They go hand in hand, really.
Yeah.
There's even, there's this guy I used to work with. He said he's going to start his own show called Grillin' and Swillin',
Yeah.
and that's that he just loved to grill and he loved to swill. I guess that's the verb.
Yeah, I haven't heard swill before.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you have to go to Long Island. We'll see what it is. But it's a grilling and swilling. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things to where there were probably, and I know there were probably many years where definitely had too many of the swills. Should have
Mhm.
done more with the grills. But yeah, it's a classic day. I mean, it really is almost like a Super Bowl
Yeah.
when you think about it, because
Yeah.
actually in San Diego, we're probably going to grill during Super Bowl too. That's
Mhm.
going to be one of those days because we can,
Right.
you know, we
No.
don't have to put on a parka to go outside and cook something.
Oh,
So,
I like my
but
scarf here.
yeah. Anyway, so when it comes to it, Daniel, as far as the summertime cookouts and stuff like that, do you find yourself cooking more outside during the
No, not at
summertime or
all.
no? Yeah.
And I think to your point, it's like the weather's great year round, so I don't feel like I have to get it
Yeah.
in the summertime in particular. And in my opinion, right now, it's chilly, right? It's not hot. I mean, it's not cold, not hot, maybe warm by you downtown. I don't know. It's also not cold, so let me get that. Let me,
Chilly is the
yeah.
wrong word. It's
But
absolutely gorgeous.
it's June gloom, right? And so like this time of year.
Mhm.
It's actually not the best weather in San Diego. Hit or miss, right? Now, I still think it's amazing. I like the coolness, right? I like summertime for me doesn't begin until like July hits. So once July
Mhm.
hits and then we get into like September and August or August, September, those are the really nice hot months that I like more like that. If I were going to barbecue outside, that would be the time to do it. But for now, nah, I don't really squeeze it in, but I could also do it in January.
Yeah, it's a true story. But for those of you out there, what is your favorite time to barbecue? What do you normally have on 4th of July? What are your traditions?
Yes.
What are some things? Let us know. We don't mind. We love it. We'd love to hear some comments and different things
Mhm.
like that. Like us, have you weaned yourself or taken yourself away from animal products? How has that changed your barbecue? Different things. Let us know.
Yeah.
We'd love to talk about it. Talk about it with you, but for now, just remember that you can, there are always different ways to incorporate vegetarian or plant-based into your barbecue. Don't
Yeah.
feel that you're any less of a man because you're not cooking meat on a grill. Let me
Yeah.
just tell you, you don't have to be. Actually, no, I'm not going to say that. Say something and offend half the audience. But you don't have to. There's a lot that you can do. There's so many things you can grill. Especially like kebabs. I'm talking about like
Mhm.
putting some zucchini, some
Yeah.
onions, some bell peppers on a stick and putting those on the grill. Grilled
Potatoes.
corn, potatoes, good. There's so many great vegetables out there to put on the grill. Um, I don't know about broccoli, but
I love
maybe
broccoli.
broccolini would be
Yeah,
good.
broccolini would be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a lot you could do. Asparagus is great as well.
Yeah, I had that camping too. Asparagus was delish.
See, there we go. So anyway, we're gonna see you outside. We'll see the grill. Who knows? Maybe we'll see you at Bass Lake cooking something up. Um,
When you say
feel
you, do
free.
you mean me or the audience?
The whole audience,
Okay.
all of them. They're all invited. Bass Lake's in a couple weeks. Are you going? Are you gonna be
Yeah,
there?
yeah, I'll be there.
Okay, then who knows? Maybe I'll see you there. I'm only gonna be there for a short time, but
Yeah. All right.
yeah, we'll see. Okay. Until next time, Daniel. Anything else?
Nope, that's all I got.
Okay, Strasse, Schnitzel, Spetzel, Strudel,
Peace.
Deutschland, go.